Hello everyone, it's Lindsay and today is a Tip Tuesday and I have a very quick, simple one for you guys. I promised that I would talk about these new alpha stamp sets from By the Will for God. This is Lovely Little Font and Lovely Great Font, and this is a scripty, like faux calligraphy style font. And I've had some questions about how to use these and get good results. So I wanted to show you a couple different ways. It's going to be hard to show you because you have to get your head right over the top of these stamps to get good impressions, and I can't film with my head underneath the camera. So I went ahead and stamped some things out in different colors to kind of show you a few different things about these stamps. So with these stamps, depending on how you line them up, you can either get them straight, like if you were to draw yourself a line in your Bible margin or on a card or something like that. You can line up the stamps so that they all hit the line on the bottom of the letters. You can also bounce the letters. So depending on where you position them, above or below that line that you draw, you kind of get this fun like bounce to your words. You can see it's the same word, same stamps, and two different looks here. Now what you're not seeing in the black ink is how to overlap the stamps. So all of these stamps have this little tail off of the edge, and the tail is what connects all of these letters to make them into that calligraphy look. And you do want to overlap those tails with the letters. So what I did was I took two different colors of ink and stamped out the word faith, alternating colors, so that you can see where the coral goes into the blue and the blue into the coral. I'm hoping that you'll be able to see it on camera. There is just a very slight overlap that happens with those letters. And again, I did it kind of on the line and bouncing the letters so you can see the difference there, but it doesn't take very much overlap, and you want to be careful that you don't overlap so much that your tail kind of sticks out to the other side of your letter, but you can really see it well in the T and the I there and the T and the H where that overlap is happening. And so this also shows you when you're stamping with these stamps, it's best to work with dark colors like blacks and things like that, because even if I was to stamp this way with this pink ink, anywhere where the pink overlaps itself, it's going to be darker pink, and so you are going to be able to see where those connections are. So with these stamps, they work better with dark inks like blacks or dark blues, things like that. Work a little bit better, so they blend all together and look like it's one stamp rather than individual. So to stamp with these, usually what I'll do is draw myself a line on my project with a pencil, just really lightly. I'm doing it a little bit darker so that you guys can see it on camera. And then you do have to stamp these individually. So it does take a little bit longer because you're stamping, you know, one letter at a time, but you get a nice, you know, clean look to it. So let's go ahead and stamp hello again, and I'm going to alternate ink so you can kind of see that overlapping happening again. So we'll start with the blue here. I'm just going to ink that up, and then I'm going to get my head right over the top of the stamp to make sure that I am where I want to be on the line. Okay, and so these stamps are very difficult to film with because you have to keep sticking your head in there to make sure that you are at a good spot. So now I'm going to switch to the pink ink for the E so you can see where I'm overlapping. So I'm going to overlap this letter, and again I want to get my head right over the top of it so I can see where that E overlaps the tail of the H. And so hopefully you'll be able to see where the tail of that blue H is going into the pink E. Not very much. These don't have a huge tail, so you can get the letters pretty close together, but you do need to overlap them ever so slightly to get them to connect well. So again with the L, I'm going to try to do it without getting my head in the shot there. And so I can see that the E is overlapping into the L there. And then with the pink, same thing. I'm going to overlap. And so here again, you can see where the colors are overlapping each other, where the tails are going in to the other letter. And this is going to be one of those things where it just takes some practice and takes playing with them yourself to get a hang for how these work. This little O is going to kind of float funny. I should have tilted my L just a little bit more. So my O is going to be kind of funny. If I was to, let's say, tilt my L, I'm going to stamp this, just the L and the O, so you can see. If I tilt this a little bit more, then I can get my O more down on the line, so you can see that there. So here's, if I go straight up and down, my O kind of has to sit high because of where the tail ends. If I tilt my L ever so slightly to the right like I did in here, then my O can sit on the line a little bit better. So that's just something you're going to have to figure out as you play with these and kind of experiment. I would say maybe stamp out your word on a scrap piece of paper and figure out, you know, the best way to do it before taking it to your project. But these are some of my favorite alphabet stamps because they give you that really pretty calligraphy look without having to do brush lettering or hand lettering on your own. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to link these down below. If they are out of stock, don't worry. She's usually pretty good about restocking stamps like this, but they should still be in stock. So I will link those in the description box. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below as well for me. Any ideas for Tip Tuesday, leave those down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.